Hello, everybody. I'm Pilar Archila with Pure Gold. I'm sitting here with Mr. Frank Fields. How are you today?
Great. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. And you know, he is retired, and I good envy right there.
I recommend it highly.
I enjoy my work, but I always wonder, you know, how will be my life if I'm retired?
It can be wonderful.
You know for a fact.
Busy all the time. Yeah.
But a busy things that you enjoy doing.
Exactly.
Well, are you originally from Dublin, from Lawrence County?
I was born in Lawrence County in the Claxton Hospital, but my family never lived here. At that time, they lived in Swainsboro, and then we moved to McRae. And I was raised in McRae over in Telfair County.
Oh.
Where our illustrious mayor's from, Phil Best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, with my other job, I travel a lot to Swainsboro, to McRae. Actually, I'm the interpreter in those courts right there.
Wonderful.
So I'm very familiar with that. Good. So you moved there, and you stayed there until...
I was in McRae until I went off to military school.
Oh.
In high school. And came back, went off to college, married my wife, and we moved back to McRae after we graduated from undergraduate school for a year or so, and then moved to Dublin. And I started to work with the mental health center over here.
So is your wife from this area also?
She was from McRae.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. We started dating when she was 14 and I was 15. That's right. Long time.
Yeah. Well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
One of those first loves and only girlfriend.
Yes.
It's like my husband and I.
Oh, how about that?
Just like that. He was my only boyfriend.
Good.
And he's been my husband for a while, too.
Okay.
All right. Do you have children?
Yeah. We have a son who lives in Greensboro, North Carolina.
That's beautiful.
Is in the timber business. And our daughter is in Nashville, Tennessee, raising 3 grandchildren.
Music, music, music.
Oh, yes. We spend some time in Nashville. We love Nashville. Yeah.
I do too. Well, before we were, on camera, we were talking about that you, when you lived here, you were very involved with our community.
Oh, I love Dublin. Yes. Dublin's been extremely good to me and my family.
You were president of the Rotary Club.
That was a great honor to be elected president of the Rotary Club, and I served as chairman of St. Patrick's Festival. And another great honor was serving as chairman of the
Chamber of Commerce,
yes.
1987-88.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Oh, that was a wonderful year. That was the year that we purchased the Chamber of Commerce building.
Oh, where it is right now.
Where it is right now. And that was just such a wonderful opportunity for the Chamber and for the community.
Yes.
And I have to give credit where credit's due. Louis Curry Jr. came to me and said, we have an opportunity here. And he was able to put the pieces together to make that happen. And I don't know that he has gotten enough credit through the years, but I wanted to be sure that everybody knew that he was the man behind the scenes that made that happen for us.
Well, we think very, very highly of Louis and his family, and he's amazing.
Oh, he's done a lot for us, yes.
Yes. So it was during when you were chairman of the Chamber
that we got
board that we got
and renovated it. And the other thing that we did, we commissioned Butler Brown, the artist from Hawkinsville, to do an oil painting of the house. We had no money to pay for it. It was tough times. But he painted this oil painting, and we did 100 prints signed by him. And the different businesses in this community bought those prints for $2,000 a piece. And they paid $500 down and $500 a year until they were paid off.
Oh.
And that's how we raised the money to pay for the Chamber House.
Oh, my goodness.
Experience. Yeah.
You see, that's That's great that, well, first of all, there is someone like an artist like that did that amazing. Do you have any idea, or do you remember who have like the original and who has some of the prints?
The original hangs in the chamber,
Oh.
up over the fireplace. So if you
Oh,
ever
okay.
at the chamber,
Yeah.
it's up over the fireplace. At least that's where it was the last time I saw it. Okay, and if it's not there, ask Willie. She'll show it to you. My company, I was running a private alcohol and drug hospital at the time, and my company bought one of the prints. Southeast Paper had one. I think every bank in town bought one. It was the business community just stepped forward.
Yes,
and
as
supported
always.
it. And that's something that's special about Dublin,
Exactly.
is that they pull together and they work together, and that's why this community is successful as it's been.
Successful and unique. It's just great.
It is.
So you were in the mental hospitals business and drug and alcohol abuse. You had like
That's
a
right.
hospital here.
I was director of the alcohol and drug program here for years, and then became the director of the mental health center here, and then was recruited by a private company to open a private alcohol and drug hospital here. And did that, and then they talked me into moving to Dallas, Texas to take over another hospital. And I did that for about a year or so and realized that I wanted to get home.
You need Georgia.
I needed to get back to Dublin. And so they moved me back. And I worked with them until Managed Healthcare came along and closed down most of the substance abuse hospitals. And went to work as the CEO of the Mental Health Center in Macon, River Edge Behavioral Health Center. And that's where I retired from 6 years ago.
Did you travel every day from Dublin?
Yes, I did.
There?
Yeah. I thought that was going to be a big deal. But
It's not.
They provided
I mean,
me a vehicle. And
and it's really not.
Uh-uh.
I traveled longer than that. I mean, when I have a job that is in Macon, I go, finally, it's closed.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could get to work within 45, 50 minutes, and I had employees that lived on the north side of Macon that would take them 35, 40
Exactly.
minutes to get there.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It's not too bad. You know, thinking about the things that you did back in 88, 87, 88, you know, with the Chamber of Commerce, what kind of things you would like now to be done, or what kind of things do you think that we can do?
Well, I've been out of it so long, I don't know that I can give a specific, but one of the things that I've seen over the years that the Chamber has done so well for this community is the training of leaders.
Yes.
As I look back, when I was invited to come and do this, I started thinking about what has happened with the Chamber. And then I began to think about how many young men and women have joined the Chamber, elected the board of directors. Some became chairman, some didn't.
Right.
But they went on to become leaders. They have become political leaders in this community. They have become prominent business people in this community.
Yes.
They've gone on to serve on the development authority in the community. And I thought, it's really a training facility as well as a chamber for leaders of this community. And I think Willie Paulk has done an excellent job
Yes.
in ensuring that that took place.
We are so lucky to have her.
Oh, she's wonderful. Yes, she is.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
Don't go away. Thank you for watching. If you just join us, I'm sitting here with Mr. Frank Fields, and we're having a great conversation.
Yes, we are.
Also, off camera, I was asking you, how do you feel your days
In retirement?
in retirement? I'm dying to know.
Well,
What kind of things do you enjoy doing?
my hobby is carving. I love carving caricatures. And I have a very dear friend and a mentor, Arnold Smith from Scott, Georgia, that is teaching me how to carve.
Oh, that's
And
great.
so I carve little caricatures. And I carve fishing lures and old world Santa Clauses. But my love now is caricatures. the
Wow.
little people. And,
Wow.
I've been fortunate enough. I've won first place at the state fair for the past 2 years.
Look at him.
Just bragging.
First
just tickled
place,
to
my
death.
goodness.
Now that's in my class, okay?
Yes, of course.
And It just tickled me to death. And so I love doing
But
that.
Frank, let me ask you. I mean, through the years, you knew you could carve?
No, ma'am.
So this is something that came out after you retired?
My wife is big into horseback riding.
Yes.
She and a friend of hers, Susan Schumann and Louise Jones, would go to North Carolina horseback riding, and they would let the husbands come the last 2 or 3 days. They didn't want us up there footing, messing up
Of
there.
course not. We don't
Right.
want them.
So on one of those days, Dr. Bob Schumann and I went to an arts and crafts show, and the guy was doing a lathe, turning wood on a lathe, and I thought, I can do that. So we came home, and Janet and I were in Atlanta and went by a woodcraft store, and I was going to buy a lathe. And I told the guy what I wanted. I wanted all this stuff, and as he was getting it all together, I walked by Janet, and she had this book on hand carving fishing lures.
Oh.
Well, I love fishing. And when
Yeah.
I saw it, I thought, this is it. This is what I don't want a lathe. I want a carve.
Oh,
So
my.
the little guy came by, and he was so excited. He was getting all this stuff. I said, wait a minute, I don't want that anymore.
Oh, my gosh.
So I went from a $3,000 purchase to a $100 purchase. I purchased the knives and the book and all that, and I went home, read that book, built all the little jigs, and started carving fishing lures,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
just loved it. And my 5 seconds to fame was that I got a call from the governor of Tennessee wanting one of my fishing lures, and so that was exciting. And
I want to hear about that.
I had contracted with a company out of Nashville, Tennessee,
Yes.
to program and write our computer medical records,
Medical records.
and did not realize, but the governor of Tennessee owned part of that company. And so the president of the company was down one day and saw some of my fishing lures, and he said, do you sell them? And I said, yeah, I'll sell it. And he says, well, it's the governor's birthday, and he's a big fisherman, and I want to buy a fishing lure to give to him. So he bought it and gave it to him. And like I said, my daughter lives in Nashville, and I was in Nashville one weekend, and my phone rang, and it said restricted. I'd never seen that before. And I answered it, and this guy says, is this Frank Fields? And I said, yeah. And he said, do you carve fishing lures? And I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm Phil Bredinson, and I'm interested in some of your fishing lures.
And at that point, you didn't know he was the
idea who
governor.
I was talking to. And he said, I have one of your lures. I got it for a birthday present. And then it dawned on me. I was talking to the governor. So he and I tried to get hooked up 2 or 3 times, and he gave me a private number to call his secretary, and I got him on the phone, but he was leaving for Colorado. So we missed each other.
How long ago was that?
That's been a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. He's no longer governor. He finished his term and became a new governor, but that was fun. That was exciting.
Yeah, and he wanted to have some more of your
Another
fishing.
fishing lure.
You know, sometimes, like in your case, you know, retirement and you found this hobby that is just amazing and you're good at it. One time I was in one of the prisons, and I was, at that time I was doing a GED test for some of the prisoners. They were doing the test, and I was there to make sure, you know, everything was going smooth. And this guy finished fairly quick. But then after he finished, he started kind of doing a drawing. And when I finished with everything, he gave me the drawing, and he have done but it was an amazing drawing. And I was just like shocked because it was so good. It was like looking at a photograph. I asked him, I said, have you done this all your life? He said, no. Being in prison, I discovered that I can do that. Mm-hmm. And I was like amazed. And then he said to me, on your way out, look at a huge painting at the entrance of Martin Luther King. I did that one. And sure enough, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. The first job I ever had out of undergraduate school was a counselor in a prison in Mount Vernon, Georgia.
Uh-huh.
And you would run across unbelievably talented people.
Yes, this guy was so talented.
Why did you end up here?
I know, isn't that sad?
So yeah.
This guy was there, for a long time, but he was so talented.
Yeah, you find it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not that talented. I just keep cutting on a piece of wood till that little guy just comes out. He's in there. Arnold says, Frank, if you cut enough wood off, that little
You're going to find him.
He'll be in there. And so that's what I do. It's just fun. I love doing it.
How long does it take for you to do one of those little mans?
Well, for me, I carve so slow. It could take me 12, 14 hours, to do it.
Oh, well,
Arnold,
that's slow.
yeah, compared to Arnold. Of course, Arnold's been carving 30-something years, but it's funny.
Yes.
Arnold sits on one side of the desk, I sit on the other side, and when you look at the floor, my little chips are about the size of your fingernail. His are just big old chunks. He'll just cut it, and I just whittle away. So I'm scared I'm going to cut his arm off or his finger off or something. So Arnold says, don't worry, there's another one in there.
That is so interesting. Well, we're going to take another short break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Well, we're back, and I'm here with Frank Fields. Now, I need to ask you this. You're enjoying your time, your retirement, you're doing what you like to do. I'm going to wait until I retire to see what would be something that I'll be good at.
Your music.
I love music.
Yeah.
And I love to sing, but I don't consider myself a good singer, but I enjoy doing it. Now, my children, they are amazingly good. So I enjoy listening to them.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm good or not, but I enjoy doing it. And I do it. I do it anyway. And I dance like you will not believe. Going back to the chamber, for those people who are watching the show, what would you say to a small business, medium or large? What would be a good thing to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce? Why?
It's a good business investment. The thing that a businessman has to think in terms of is, what can I do? It's like running a TV commercial. You're trying to get more customers. Well, investing into the Chamber of Commerce does the same thing. You've got a group of men and women that are spending a tremendous amount of time and energy to bring new businesses and new industry into this community.
Right.
So no matter what kind of business you're in, if a company comes here and buys or builds 5 homes, think of the money that circulates within this community.
Exactly.
So every businessman or woman needs the chamber working at that level.
And the networking.
That's right. So if they are building houses or whatever they're doing, the restaurants are benefiting.
That's right.
They're
eating out.
The plumbers, the contractors, the carpenter, everybody is involved in this process.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that we spend a lot of time is trying to educate our businesses that this is a good business investment.
It is.
And I'm not with the chamber, working anymore, but I support it.
Yes.
And I just believe that if a business person sits down and thinks about it, he can't afford to hire people to go out and try to recruit that kind of level of business to come back in. But he can invest with a group of business people.
Yes.
Then you can go and do that.
You could not say it better.
That's so important for everybody to understand that you need to join the chamber. It's good for this community.
Amen.
It's good for your business.
Amen. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. It's been a pleasure having you here.
I've enjoyed visiting with you, getting to know you.
Yes, me too. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Thanks for having me.
And for spending time with me. I would love to, one of these days, watch you carving those.
You're welcome to come and watch.
Thank you so much. And all of you, thank you so much for watching. And until next time.